Hello. We're here to show my progress on the surplus chopper. So I'll pull her out of this improvised scabbard that I was working on. We'll take a quick look at the chopper and we'll take a look at the scabbard and then we'll do some chopping. Okay, so the first thing, when I took the handle scales off to reinstall with epoxy, I discovered that there was already a lanyard hole in the tang, so that was nice. Only had to drill out the scales. I made some lilac pins. Forgot to kind of line them up grain wise, but you can see the kind of candy corn effect there slightly. The handle is very roughly finished at the moment with 100 grit for grip and stuff. I'm going to load it up with oil and later I'll probably work on it some more. I also did some shaping, so I went in a little bit here for this grip up there. Otherwise it was kind of a taper backwards, and so correspondingly I went in a little bit here, I went in a little bit there, rounded off here and rounded off quite significantly there. Yeah, I did a kind of a vaguely Coke bottle kind of thing in here that previously was just a one solid taper in. So you can really see that nice taper tang there. You can also, if you look closely, see where the tang is pretty much straight and flat on this side and then kind of bent in on that side, so that filled in with the epoxy nicely there. I kept the ferrule, and that is the blade now, blued last night. And I blued and then I just started in on this scabbard, and actually the bluing came in handy. You can see it's wearing off just from going in and out of the scabbard there. But that came in handy, that wearing effect, because okay, let's pop these off. Yeah, my thinking being later to rivet this or screw it together or something. Maybe if I keep it detachable, it'll be easy to clean inside. So anyway, come a point, I was using this effect to show me where to remove more material. And I was just scraping away. I used, mostly I used a flex cut spoon carving jack and this knife here, which works very well because of the tanto point, and you can scrape with it. And then later I went in with a scraper and I kind of carved a well in this way so the edge bevels do not contact. They're in this space here. Yeah. And so that's just a piece of balsa wood. Very easy carving, although it's kind of tough on the edge. It'll wear your edge out surprisingly quickly I think for how easy it is to carve. And then this is a piece of like a cedar 3-ply. It's kind of like cigar box that I got in a craft store. It was on sale, like $1 for this big panel of it. So that's that, yeah. And we'll start with some light testing. Of course, the obligatory. I remembered to actually bring a piece of newspaper to be able to see that in spite of the rather stout geometry, we can pretty much slice paper all the way down. It's not really sharp down here, so I gotta start in. Well, wind is not helping, but just to test the sharpness. I'll do a quick pencil here. Yeah, it's nice keeping that, not having it sharp here. You can choke up, and so then this well here, it's working out quite well for the ergos, I would say. Oops. Okay, right, put that down. Let's show some stuff. So, when I came out to test, before gluing the handle on, that's what I produced from this pile of pine here. Because this is old pine branch. You know, it's pretty soft in a way, but it's kind of tough on the edge. It has these hard bits in it from the resin and the knots and what have you. But I picked this up from over there. This is oak, but it is very lightweight and punky. So I will probably be able to cut this just like this, I reckon. Well, pretty much. How about some splitting? Here, very sear piece of beech. Look at that, that's going to be tough. Got some knots in there. I mean, but we're only splitting it, so considering this light duty still. Oof, that one hurt my ears. That's very nicely seasoned. So now we got some pine. Now, you know, this bit's thinner than that bit, but this is a lot lighter than this. So this is much more recently cut, I guess, and I don't know, more recently dead, I expect. So I don't know. We'll try this one first. That's probably going to be tougher, even though it's dry. Oh, this one. Yeah, that sliced its way out of a tear there, I think. Try that again. Yeah, so that is a pretty good result from the edge. Looks fine. Let me just stroke it with the rod here. See if I feel anything. Yeah, it feels clear. Maybe a little touch of a burr there. There's a little, I can see a little wobble in the grind now there. Or whether that's a wobble in the grind, or maybe I just put a wobble in. It gets a bit thinner there. I don't know if we can get a sight down here, but to start out with, it was very bulbous on this side, bulged out a lot on this side, and even now maybe you can see that it's kind of proud here and a bit hollow there. So we're getting to a consistent kind of edge, but it's still, it's not quite there yet. I feel like maybe I did put a little, I put a ripple in there, or that's just my grinding from earlier. I don't know. When there's so much steel to start out with, and you're kind of trying to straighten it out, we're getting there. But there's a bit of a curve this way, naturally. That was already there, for sure. So I just have to keep grinding in here, and you know, as I'm doing that, I'm thinning it out and making it a bit more manageable. So let's do one more. Let's just take this piece neatly in two, so it'll fit in the old chimney over there. Right. Kind of a little awkward height-wise, but it's nice and stable. So, ooh, yeah, bit of glancing there. Man, this is hard. Ah, we're done. So, result. Should you happen to see something that looks like this, I think maybe it's a bolo knife. That's what it would be referred to as. The shape of it, I think it resembles to me like cartoonish and distinctive, and I feel like I've seen it out there somewhere maybe before picking this one up. So fairly distinctive. I can't tell you anything about it. I mean, I think it was probably made in the US because it's acquired in the US. There's no maker's mark. We think the scales were teak. It's got a taper tang. It's got a ferrule. It's thick as and you know, if you see one out there, pick it up maybe. See if you can get a file and give it a little scrape and see if it's good. But this one is apparently pretty tough from all the grinding I've done on it and the testing so far. Very promising. And I'm behind on firewood, so I think this is going to be a useful tool, you know, not just a wall hanger or a piece of fun. You know, you can chop down a tree and split it up with this. Now, why would that be better than an axe? I couldn't tell you, apart from maybe more fun. And also I was thinking, if you were a one-armed man, then this would be a very good thing to have, because you couldn't get the two-handed benefits of an axe, but you certainly could. And you know, yes, okay, so in certain conditions, maybe, you know, let's say you're clobbering through some particularly tough brush, you can use a stick. You can get a stick with a crook in it and use your one hand to angle things the right way so you can chop with the other hand. Stuff like that, you know. Uses will occur. I felt that this was a tool looking for some tasks, and we've got tasks. I'm so glad we found each other. Shout out to Joe X, just because. And thank you for watching, everyone. Toodle pip.